Ukrainian forces destroy state-of-the-art Russian S-500 air defense radar. Ukrainian forces have reportedly destroyed a rare Russian radar associated with the country's newest S-500 Prometey air and missile defense system. According to the defense website Miltarny, the report, based on information from the open-source intelligence community CyberBoroshno, stated that this was shown in a video released by the Ukrainian Military Intelligence Directorate, GUR, documenting drone attacks carried out by the Prymary Special Forces Unit against radar sites on the peninsula. Yesterday's GUR video caught our attention, showing the destruction of the 96L6 radar of the S-400 system. But it turned out it was not the 96L6 radar, CyberBoroshno analyst said. After analyzing the optical characteristics of the target, we confirmed it was the newer 98L6 Yenisei radar, the standard radar for the S-500 Prometey system. The 98L6 Yenisei radar underwent government trials between 2020 and 2021, and publicly available data indicates that it was officially put into service in April 2021. Russian sources confirm that the radar is equipped with a multi-element active phased array AESA antenna with a high level of jamming resistance, and is capable of detecting and tracking aerodynamic and ballistic targets at ranges of up to 600 kilometers and altitudes of up to 100 kilometers before transmitting target data to the command center for use by other air defense components. Structurally, the Yenisei is similar to the Russian 96L6E radar. Both are mounted on a 4-axle MZKT truck and have a similar design, with a fully rotating antenna unit and equipment container mounted on the vehicle platform. The difference lies in the antenna design, as the 96L6E's main panel is divided into two different sized sections, unlike the Yenisei. The Yenisei can operate in 360-degree or narrow sector surveillance mode, enhancing its ability to detect ballistic targets. It is the standard radar used in the S-500 Prometey system, Russia's most advanced air and missile defense system. CyberBoroshno indicated that the radar on the peninsula was also operating alongside the S-400 system, and analysts are continuing to determine the exact coordinates of the strike to determine which system it was working with at the time of its destruction. Is confirmed, the loss of the Yenisei radar would be one of the first documented field losses of a component associated with the S-500 system, which is designed to intercept advanced ballistic missiles, hypersonic weapons, and other high-speed air threats. The Arab defense newspaper headline read, "Putin announces start of mass production of Oreshnik hypersonic ballistic missiles and delivery of first shipments to Russian forces." On August 1, 2025, Russian President Vladimir Putin announced the start of mass production of the Oreshnik medium-range ballistic missile system and the delivery of the first system to Russian forces. During a joint meeting with Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko on Valam Island, Putin explained that the deployment of the Oreshnik system in Belarus is expected to be completed before the end of 2025. TASS reported that Russia and Belarus have already identified the location for the system's deployment, and preparations are currently underway. The Oreshnik missile, which bears the Western designation SSX-34, is a solid-fuel medium-range ballistic missile that can be transported and launched by a ground launch vehicle. It is believed to be derived from the Russian RS-26 Rubezh missile, which was not previously included in the Russian armament program. According to data available from open sources, the missile weighs approximately 40 tons, has an estimated payload of at least 1,200 kilograms, and has a range of between 800 and 5,000 kilometers. The system is based on a mobile launcher based on the MZKT 79291 chassis or modified versions thereof, with a two-stage solid-fuel design, and is likely equipped with multiple independently guided missile (MIRV) warheads. Each missile is expected to carry 6 separate warheads, each of which can be equipped with 6 submunitions or decoy targets. The first operational use of the Oreshnik missile was recorded on November 21, 2024, during an attack on the Pevdenmash defense plant in the Ukrainian city of Dnipro. The missile was launched from the Kapustin Yar test range and reached a flight speed of approximately Mach 11. According to Russian and international reports, in early August 2025, Moscow is considering deploying the Oreshnik system beyond its borders, with locations such as Venezuela and Cuba being considered as potential forward deployment options. This would strengthen Russia's military presence and expand the range of potential strikes to include the southern United States and the Caribbean. The Oreshnik, Russian Oreshnik, meaning hazelnut tree, is Russia's newest medium-range ballistic missile IRBM system. Its hypersonic speed, according to the Ukrainian military, exceeds Mach 10, or approximately 12,300 kilometers per hour, 3.4 kilometers per second. The Oreshnik is designed to carry 6 medium-range re-entry vehicles, MIRVs, believed to be equipped with cluster munitions, enhancing its ability to cover wide areas. Although its interception is described as extremely difficult, some modern missile defense systems, such as the Israeli Arrow 3 and the American SM-3 Block 2A, are specifically designed to deal with threats of this type, but they are not available within Ukraine's air defense capabilities. According to Pentagon Deputy Spokeswoman Sabrina Singh, the Oreshnik is a modified version of the Russian RS-26 Rubezh medium-range missile. The Oreshnik made its combat debut on November 21, 2024, during the Russo-Ukrainian War, when it was used in a strike targeting the Pevdenmash military facility in the Ukrainian city of Dnipro. The missiles were launched from the Astrakhan Oblast region, likely from the Kapustin Yar testing range. Initially, the strike prompted Ukrainian speculation that an intercontinental ballistic missile ICBM was used, but later assessments confirmed that the missile used was the Oreshnik, equipped with MIRV warheads. Unconfirmed footage suggests that these warheads were not equipped with explosives, but rather dummy warheads, in what was considered a political show of force, rather than an effective tactical attack. Despite the absence of explosives, the attack caused explosions that lasted for 3 hours, according to eyewitnesses. Experts say that the kinetic energy alone, generated by the hypersonic speed of the inert warheads, could cause significant damage, even without a conventional explosion. However, subsequent satellite images showed minor damage to the roofs of the Pevdenmash facilities and some nearby residential buildings, reinforcing the hypothesis that the attack was more symbolic than destructive. The Oreshnik possesses characteristics that make interception more difficult than other nuclear or ballistic missiles that Russia has used against Ukraine to date, particularly thanks to its multiple re-entry vehicle MIRV payload and its ability to fly through the upper layers of the atmosphere, making it difficult for current Ukrainian air defense systems to detect. Despite this, analysts emphasize that modern Western defense systems, such as the Israeli Arrow 3 and the American SN-3, have been developed to deal with such threats, even though Ukraine does not yet possess them. Despite the Kremlin's claims that the Oreshnik represents a technological breakthrough in hypersonic weapons, U.S. Defense Department officials and experts consider it merely a repackaging of older technologies previously used in intercontinental ballistic missiles rather than a radical innovation. Dr. Jeffrey Lewis, an expert on non-proliferation issues, says, "Nothing about the Oreshnik's technology can be described as new," explaining that the missile combines existing technologies but in a new form. This view is supported by a military expert at the University of Oslo, who points out that the new components in the system do not exceed 10% of its overall structure. Part P. Russia is also believed to possess a very limited number of this missile, making its repeated use on the battlefield unlikely in the near term. The accuracy issue. One of the most prominent criticisms of the Oreshnik relates to its accuracy. Footage of the Dnipro attack shows that it is not accurate enough to hit conventional targets with high precision, raising doubts about its effectiveness in non-nuclear use. William Elberg of the Henry L. Stimson Center asserts that the world has not yet seen a Russian MIRV system with circular accuracy, CEP, suitable for conventional use. Other experts point out that the use of submunitions could mitigate the impact of poor accuracy by expanding the offensive coverage area. On the ground, the Russian president reported that Russian forces are making progress along the front line, including in the Donetsk and Luhansk regions, as well as in the Russian-controlled areas of Zaporizhia and Kherson. He attributed this progress to the courage and bravery of Russian soldiers, adding that the pace of progress varies from region to region, but is generally positive. The most notable achievement on the ground, according to the Russian side, was the complete control of the city of Chasiv Yar in the Donetsk region, a strategically important site. Commenting on this control, Putin emphasized that Russia is not occupying foreign lands, but is reclaiming what is rightfully its own, a statement likely to be strongly rejected by Kyiv and Western countries. Despite the escalation of fighting, the Russian president reiterated his country's readiness to return to the negotiating table, noting that peaceful dialogue is always necessary and must be based on mutual respect and a genuine desire to end the war. This statement comes after the third round of direct negotiations between Russia and Ukraine, held in Istanbul last month and lasting less than an hour. This round resulted in a limited agreement on humanitarian grounds, including the exchange of prisoners of war and the return of the bodies of fallen soldiers and civilians. Moscow also proposed the establishment of 3 joint online working groups to address political, military, and humanitarian issues in an orderly manner, but the Ukrainian side has not yet confirmed its participation in this framework. The introduction of the Oreshnik system represents a new escalation in the arms race related to the conflict. Hypersonic weapons, capable of traveling at speeds exceeding 5 times the speed of sound, are harder to detect and intercept than conventional missiles, posing new challenges to the defenses of NATO and its allies in the region. While Moscow asserts that this system is primarily intended for deterrence, critics see its deployment as an escalatory step that could accelerate the arms race and undermine the chances of reaching a lasting truce. As the war enters its 3rd year, the world continues to closely monitor developments in the conflict, as advanced weapons such as the Oreshnik missile further complicate the military landscape and exacerbate the human and political costs of the escalating conflict.